Well, an interesting recap today. There was no trades taken. That being said, the markets were super choppy and was able to kind of talk through my strategy and the way I think through things a lot today because we were sitting around doing nothing, as well as like a lot of just important things I think new traders should have. So that's going to be today's recap, is kind of the rant from today's stream, as well as kind of talking through some strategy stuff. Please sit back and enjoy. Yo, good morning. Welcome. Happy Monday. All right, news-wise today, guys. We've got inflation expectations at 10 o'clock. Other than that, nothing. Tomorrow we got PPI. Wednesday we've got CPI at 7:30. Thursday we got jobless claims. Friday nothing. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of heavy, which is good. The daily chart looks like this, pushing near Friday's high. We're trying to get around there. 350 or so. 20 points off, 25 points off. I'd imagine we probably get it at the open, seeing as we're ticking overnight highs. We're above VWAP. We're above yesterday's value area high, Friday's value area high. We're 30 points away from Friday's high. I'm inclined to think that we go at least touch it, sweep it, clean it up a little bit. But if we get the continuation, we'll see. But everything right now looks uppies for me. If we crack, if we go touch Friday's high and reject it, or you know we have a super heavy open and we get back below VWAP, heavy close through VWAP, we probably go rotate into value area high from Friday. We close below that, and it's quick stops into point of control, overnight lows, value area low. There's a lot going on in this 30-point range, so we'll see what happens. Ready for the dad joke of the day? This is pretty decent, my opinion. All right, May 13th, Monday. Which days are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays. Pretty classic. I missed my move listening to Matt. Well, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? There's other moves. The markets have been open for 13 minutes. 13 minutes. There's going to be other stuff for you to take. Don't you even worry about it. Coming up on $4. Are you talking about AMC? Is it ripping? I don't know if I have it in me to trade the meme stock mania again, though, to be honest. I honestly don't know if I have it in me. I could probably find it in me, but I don't want to be the first one to try and do it. Which means I miss a lot of the move, and then it's like, do I really want to get involved in that again? AMC's blasting. What do you mean? Yeah, see, I don't have stocks up. Literally don't have stocks up, but I'm not shocked that AMC is pushing like crazy. Not shocked at all. I mean, dude, we have freaking Zach Morris back. We have Roaring Kitty back. I'm not shocked at all that GME, whatever it is, and AMC are pumping hard. Yeah, if I'm gonna do this AMC thing or GME, I'm gonna do it on Robinhood because that just feels right. I gotta re-download it real quick. Oh, that's so lame. I forgot that they do it that way. No matter how much money you put, you can only do like $1,000. They only give you like $1,000 like instant to trade. Robinhood Gold is 5K. How much is it? Oh, $5. I just bought 1,420 shares of AMC. We'll see what happens. Got to get a little bit exciting. I'll participate with the meme boys a little bit. Why not? I'm not going to look at it though. So don't ever tell me what happens to it. I'll check it in like a couple of weeks. I'm up $100. That is purely because someone on Twitter who hasn't been around for 3 years came back, posted a GIF. And one of my other people who was around back in the day is also back. That's the only reason why I just bought that. So do not be an idiot. As literally, I am just participating in the meme. I literally bought 1,420 shares. I mean, come on. It's oof, not a good idea. Yeah, maybe not. Who cares? I'm not even gonna look at it. 10 seconds later, I'm up $100. Yeah. That's like the most classic day trader comment of all time, right? Rejecting VWAP so far. Not a ton of buyers. We'll see what happens with a prior little swing high here. Prior wick, etc. 80. 80 to whatever this is. 70, yeah, 79, 80. This is interesting. If we can hold up here, I would imagine we get through VWAP. No, you have unlimited days to pass, George. It's just the 1 day to pass means that if you get your profit target today, then you're done. You don't have to trade a minimum of 7 days. The 1 day to pass does not hurt you. It only helps you. Code TBM if you're interested in earning some funded accounts. Right now it's 80% off for every month that the account is active, and for all new accounts that you want on any of the account sizes. I trade the 50K, so it's like $37 for me, 34 for you if you don't have state income tax or state sales tax, I guess. 1 day to pass is happening right now. I trade 20 of the accounts. I copy trade them on Sierra chart. My trading style is a mixture of volume based decision making, I guess, being patient, and price action. I watch initial balance, so that's my red and my green line. These are making new highs and new lows for the first hour. So it's the first hour low and the first hour high of the day is initial balance high and initial balance low. So from 8:30 to 9:30, it's always moving, and then after 9:30, it's stuck there. I watch yesterday's volume profile. So yesterday's value area high, yesterday's value area low, yesterday's point of control. I watch the current volume profile. Value area high, value area low, point of control. I use VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price. Volume profile is all volume based, obviously. Volume histogram over here. On my 1 minute chart, which is this one down on the bottom right. Over here on the right, the things that are moving is just a visual of the DOM of the order book. So it just helps me see where liquidity is on the day, where the depth is without having to scroll endlessly on the DOM. Last thing that I use is Delta on the 22 range chart, which is what this is. Why 22 range? Because it's what I like. It's what I used way back in the day when I was testing a strategy, and I really liked the way it moved, and I still do. A range chart is price based. It is not time based. Each candle is just 22 ticks of price movement. The bands are VWAP, volume weighted average price, 1, 1.5, 2, and 3 standard deviations off of it, and then -1, -1.5, -2, -3 standard deviations off of it. And I really use Delta on the 22 range chart because this is a measure of market participants and how they're moving price, and this is tracking how price is moving without time, right? Which is the true move of the market, in my opinion. So there you go. Throw in some price structure, just like basic concepts of support, resistance, wick tests, untested wicks, and candle style, and there you have it. There's the TBM way. And I do it on 20 Apex accounts right now. I still have a personal account as well, but I'm loving trading and loving copy trading my 20 Apex accounts. I shoot for about $300 to $500 per day per account, which is, you know, 10, 15, 20 points on the Nasdaq, 25 points on the Nasdaq, and copy trade it out. I trade one contract at a time, one mini contract at a time, and that's the plan. I'm at like 50, this is day like 57 on these accounts, something like that. I think I've had one red day. I know I've had one red day. I think maybe two, for sure break even in there, but I think it's been one red day, which happened on this cycle actually last week. It was like $69 red, $60 red, something like that. And then I use Sierra chart, like I said, for the charting situation. As far as my risk goes, no, I do not use a fixed risk. I don't use a fixed 2-to-1 ratio or whatever. I think those are kind of crap. I know people make money with it. People make money with everything though. That's like the biggest reminder that I could ever give you with trading, is that a lot of people strategy jump and concept jump because they always see someone else who's making more money than what they're doing right now, and so then they jump strategies or whatever. In some capacity, it's a decent idea to jump around, but in the other capacity, you have to just know that, like, at the end of the day, there's always a million ways to make money with the market. At the end of the day, we're all doing two things. We are clicking the green button or we're clicking the red button. We are buying or we're selling. The whole analysis and deep diving into the analysis is like great, but at the end of the day, just do whatever makes you feel confident, right? It's all about how you're risking it and your patience involved. If you find a strategy that has you slinging contracts 24/7, if it makes you money, great. If you have a strategy that makes you trade one time per week, but it makes you money, great. Who cares, right? So while I trade this way, it's not the right way necessarily, and it's not the wrong way necessarily, right? It's just how I think about things. I do think that people get way too ingrained in the analysis of everything, and they forget that they're here to trade, right? It's very easy to be an analyzer. It's very easy to kind of figure out the direction. It's a lot harder to actually execute the trades and to actually hold on to your money. It's even, honestly, I'd say it's pretty easy to make money every now and then, but it's hard to keep it for a while, right? So being consistent and long-term thought process, treat it as a job. Stop worrying about all of the chart markups necessarily unless it's really helping you out. Just a lot of overkill, analysis paralysis. Learn how to trade, right? As far as my risk goes, yeah, I don't use a 2-to-1 risk. I trade whatever the market's giving me. So I'll use market structure. I like to, with that thought process, that being said, like that thought process helps me be patient because it helps me want to find cheap trades. It helps me want to find trades that are either like really good wick tests or around a level that I really care about, like initial balance or like a hard flush into VWAP where I know like my risk is going to be limited. When I had originally started with like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 sort of ratio concept, I found myself just firing trades because I was like, I know exactly what I'm risking. I'm just going to fire the trade and see if I can catch the movement. And that was not helpful for me. So back to market structure, because at the end of the day, the market doesn't care about my 2-to-1. It cares about whatever it cares about. It cares about the levels. It cares about where buyers and sellers are participating. And I want to play based off that. So there you go. That's the true TBM way. I don't think I forgot anything, but maybe I did. I don't trade during news events, and a majority of everything is just to hurry up and wait. It's a lot of sitting around. It's a lot of waiting for good looking price action. I care about confluence. I want a lot of my ideas to be working all at the same time. Occasionally I'll take something if it's like a one idea sort of deal with like a wick test or something like that. But ideally it's like volume lines up with it, wick test lines up with it, buyers are also looking the same way, then I can take the long, something like that. The idea behind most of what I'm doing is, and I am typically very cautious to use this word because a lot of people who use this word are very proud that they use the word, and they will basically roast you for even trying to use the word if it's not the way that they're using it. But it's very like internals based. I dare I say order flow. Probably I'm not going to say order flow because I don't want to get people riled up because I don't have a footprint chart up right now. But it's very internal based, right? I care about the volume that's happening and how people are buying and selling, right? That's my goal. So everything you see on my chart minus initial balance, but even then, like there's an argument for that of why did we put in the high and the low here, right? But everything else is going to be like, where's the volume happening and where is the buyers happening and the sellers happening? Delta being the main one there, right? Delta's a true internal, where it's not like a lagging indicator. It's just truly showing you what's taking place. Same with all of these. It's just showing you what's taking place. It's not like a moving average that's just like updating after the candle close. Hopefully that helps. I know I saw someone in here asking about my strategy, so hopefully he was sitting around and hopefully that helps. It's still chopping VWAP here. So look, so like right now, for instance, how would I look at everything? I'm sure there's someone out there thinking, Matt, why are you not in a trade, right? Well, let's just take a peek at it. Similar to how there's confluence to get into a trade, there's usually confluence to get out of a trade, right? Or to not be in a trade. So right now, for instance, we're chopping VWAP, right? VWAP chop. When we look at volume, we have point of control at VWAP. We have value area. So value area high to value area low being a full, like even across the board. This just shows that we're extremely balanced, right? We're sitting on volume. We're sitting on VWAP. We're chopping both sides of it pretty equally. Value area is super equal. Delta's kind of just recently started trickling up, but was super flat. All of those things to me are like, don't trade it. Don't diddle in the middle, right? Don't diddle in the middle. Don't get in on a chop zone. For me, figuring out it's a chop zone is we're at VWAP. We're sitting on volume. Like the most volume on the day is happening right here at 90. It's also VWAP. Value area is dead even. We bounced off value area high. We're right in between value area high and the overnight highs. So it's like, where are we going to go, right? 300 psych level, throw that in there. Can we pop out of this? Absolutely. Can we slap out of it? Absolutely. Is there anything that I need to be doing here though? No, I can wait, right? The day is long. If I don't find a trade in the first 47 minutes since market's been open, that's okay. I don't need to force it. It just takes one good trade to make or break your day. It takes one trade where your discipline is off. You get into a trade that you shouldn't have gotten into. Your discipline's off. You start averaging into it. Your account's gone. We all know this. A lot of us have been there. I've been there. It takes one good trade where you're dialed in, you're focused up, you were patient, and you waited for your perfect setup where you have tons of confluence and everything looks perfect. You take that trade, no drawdown trade, all of a sudden you're up 15 points, you're up 300 bucks. You're loving life, right? Just takes one. So how can I put myself in the best situation to execute that one trade, right? Obviously my goal is to take more than just one trade on a day. But like when you think about it that way, it's like, okay, how am I going to put myself in a position to execute it the best way possible? If I'm in this chop zone around VWAP, flat delta, point of control, am I putting myself in a position to execute the best looking trade that I can? No, I'm just not. I have to open up this trade a lot, right? That's how I think about things from a confluence perspective. Like everything I just talked about that's keeping me out of this trade. The flip side is things that get me into a trade, right? Like right now, liquidity is higher, magical 20s. This looks like we probably want to go touch value area high, maybe the overnight highs even, through all of this juice up here. We got buyers starting to creep up. It looks pretty decent. Retesting on the candle close, retesting 95 could be kind of interesting in, you know, a minute or two if we close up. But like we need to close up. We need to close like 06, 07, 10, or even just 03. Close 03, come back down and retest 95. That's fairly interesting, right? Being the aggressive entry, super like mellow entry would be like 92. But if we can't close up there, I'm not going to get into this right now. And right now, 45 seconds later, you see that we're showing some signs of weakness. So there's nothing for me to do yet. Me being patient is keeping me out of doing something stupid right now. Me understanding that I can wait for a candle close and it'll be okay. If I miss a move, it's okay. There's always something else. The market are always moving, right? Markets are always moving. So if I miss a move, there will be another move. The markets have been open for 50 minutes. Am I expecting my normal job for me to just crank out and be done with everything in 50 minutes? Not really. I'm not. So like, if you're working a W-2 job, you come in, you're probably still getting warmed up on the day, to be honest, right? If you work a 9 to 5, you probably had your 30-minute coffee situation in the morning. You've been going through emails. You're just kind of getting warmed up and started for the day. Same thing with trading. You don't need to be done in the first 50 minutes, 45 minutes. Stop forcing yourself with that. Like, that's like a toxic thing that social media has brought on, to be honest. This whole concept of like, let me just size the frick up and be done in the first 30 minutes. And then I'll go party for the next 7 hours of the workday, right? Like, no, let me just treat it like a job. Let me have some perspective on how much money is, right? You're making 100 grand at your job. It's 500 bucks a day, right? Let's have some perspective. We see thousands of dollars get thrown around, myself included, with the Apex accounts. Flip side, and this is a very classic thing at this point being said, but like, if you're brand new and you want to make 1,000 bucks a day, 2,000 bucks a day, 4,000 bucks a day, 8,000 bucks a day, put in the work. If you're 6 months in and you're not profitable yet and you're still like pissed off that you're not profitable yet, it's all good. Like, this is kind of interesting. We got a little hammer here. If we sweep the lows, it's not that good. A little bit of buyers sitting on volume though. It's just sketchy. Like, this is probably going to pop. It's just sketchy to me. I don't want to take that. But it's a fairly cheap trade. I mean, you can get in at 95 and have a stop at 92 and go hunt this, right? Just a little sketchy. But what I was saying is, like, if you want to make a couple thousand bucks a day, a whole like classic argument of like, think about a doctor or a lawyer. You want to make a doctor or a lawyer or a high level executive CEO type of money, and you want to do it in 6 months when they've spent 15 years on their whole process, 20 years on the process, 10 years on the process, whatever it is. Like, come on. Stop being a like prideful little prick who thinks that they're entitled enough to do that. Put in the work. Put your head down. Be okay with sucking. You have to be okay with sucking. You got to be okay with losing. Everybody's going to lose. Some dude in here said that he had his first day on Friday of taking a losing day without blowing his account. That's a huge step forward. Huge step forward. We have to be able to lose. You have to be able to lose trades. If you can't lose trades, you're going to be averaging into eternity. And that's like tilt number 101, right? Tilt 101 is averaging losing trades into eternity is tilt 101. We all been there. I'm not talking crap about it. We all been there. You got to be able to take a losing trade, man. It's inevitable. There are times where the market does exactly what you think it's going to do and you make money, right? And then there are times where you have the exact same setup that you've used 20 times and the market just doesn't do it. It just decides not to do it this time. And that's okay. The market doesn't have to do what you think it's going to do, right? Because if it doesn't do what you think it's going to do this one time, you have 20 other times in your background, right? 20 other times that you have data for that this idea worked. But you're going to take the one time that it didn't and blow your account from that. No, you don't want to blow your account from that. You want to be able to use the other 19 times again, right? So you got to be able to take an L so that you can make money with the other 19 times again. Does that make sense? Now, there are some times where we all just do stupid trades, right? That have no data, no history, no nothing, right? And we suck, and that's fine. And that one, you just take the L and you move on. You adjust, right? But there are times where your strategy just doesn't work. And maybe it works 95% of the time, 99% of the time, right? Nothing's ever going to work 100%. Maybe it works 99%. Which is incredibly unlikely, right? But say it works 99%. You want to be able to keep your accounts around long enough for the 99% to work. And if you blow your account on the 1% of it not working, that's just sad, right? That's a bummer. Because you should be making tons of money from the 99%. So there you go. I don't even know how we got into that. I just think it's very important to be heard. It's very important for me to remind myself also. Most of these types of conversations typically happen because I need to remind myself, right? I need to remind myself to not get tilted. I have to do it every single day. It is a constant battle for me. Constant battle of don't get tilted. Be patient. Be smart. Take a losing trade to the chin and move on, right? It's just like getting punched in the face. It sucks. No one wants to do it. But sometimes it's inevitable, right? But I think reminding yourself that, like, man, I have to take an L sometimes. And even if the strategy works all the time, or a lot of the times, I have to take an L so I don't blow my account right before it works for another 19 times in a row. That would just be terrible. So, anyways, man, we are just slowly grinding up into this juice up higher. We are 5 minutes away from initial balance being set. That's good. That provides me decent levels, these green and red lines on the 1 minute chart. I've not really seen anything we're taking at all. I mean, we chopped for 25 minutes on VWAP and volume. We're just now kind of expanding out of it the last 3 minutes. We had the nice dump right away, but I don't trade the first 15 minutes. And then we had a little bit of a rebound with Delta not looking great, and then we chopped. So honestly, not a lot of opportunity for me yet, but it just takes one.
Listening in first time and enough solid points to jump on board. This channel will help me. 4 years in on NQ, still grinding for my aha moment.
Keep grinding, man. I'm glad you're here. I will say it is a never-ending process, though. I mean, I've been trading for 8 years now, and I feel like the last, 5 months, honestly, the last year has been incredible for me, but, from a learning perspective. But, talk about 2024, I've been grinding for years, and I'm still having, big freaking aha moments pop off, right? And that's part of trading. The markets are always changing. We should always be changing. Our goal should never be to be done. Our goal should always be, how can we be better? There's always value to extract out of the markets. There's always ways to extract more value out of ourselves. We should always be improving in some capacity or trying to. But I've had massive aha moments the last few months. with everything that I'm doing right now, massive aha moments. So keep grinding for it. You'll have little ones, right? But you'll never get it fully figured out, unfortunately, man. But it's also kind of the fun of it, right? It's kind of fun to have something that you're constantly working at. What's the largest mental obstacle that you have to overcome in your years of trading? Being patient. It is so hard, in my opinion, to sit here and not take terrible trades. Just straight up. I think it's very challenging. When my brain is bored, just do it. Yeah, well, it's like the thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago of if we're in a tight little range, our brains just naturally figure out ways to trick us into wanting to execute a bunch of trades in it, right? It's realistically, if I was to walk away and come back in 5 minutes, I would be like, oh my God, this is nasty 10-point range. But if I'm sitting here the whole time, my brain's like, oh, you could just do this. You could just do that. Don't worry about it. Just take the trade. And it's like, oh, why am I doing that? Why am I messing around in a range that I literally just described of why it's horrible? Most of trading is learning from mistakes. A lot of trading, you can hear me sit here and talk to you about the psychological, the emotional, the mental, the physical action of taking trades and things like that. But to be honest, guys, very, very little of it truly lands until you experience it yourself. And then the little voice of Matt from way back when comes back into your head. And then you're like, oh, that's what he was talking about right now. It's all things that I've experienced personally is what I'm talking through. And unfortunately, a lot of it is you have to experience it personally too in order for it to truly land. I mean, it's so classic. Day that the stream has the most viewers of all time, there's not a single trade to take. Whatever. Part of it. Part of it.